I want to start today's video with a little confession. I've always pictured myself as someone who can juggle anything life throws at me. Calls, messages, projects, work, stress, social invites, whatever it is. One morning not too long ago, I found myself simultaneously answering a friend's urgent text, checking an email, and trying to outline a video. And honestly, my head started spinning. It hit me that I started spreading myself a bit too thin. Yeah, multitasking is good, but there's a limit to it of how much you can actually do. Because I realized I ended up doing such little things on every little thing. I ended up getting none of the big stuff done. So it dawned on me that I couldn't keep dividing my attention into tiny slices. And if I wanted to move forward, I had to start focusing. And maybe you felt this, like your day is full of responsibilities, and by the end of it, you're left with zero energy for the dreams that actually truly matter. So let's talk about how you can reclaim your focus, turn being selfish into a positive, and finally carve out time and mental space to tackle our real goals. In a typical day, you might have a million interruptions. Phone calls, social media, people in your life needing a quick favor, and you want to say yes because that's the kind of person you are, you care, and you want to help. Or maybe you just don't want to offend anyone. But problem is, you end up with your mental screw. By bedtime, you realize you did everything for others, but left your own big objectives untouched. And again, that's how I used to operate. If someone said, "Hey, can you look at this real quick?" I'd drop everything. I convinced myself I was being generous and flexible, but in reality, I was ignoring my own short and long-term needs. And ironically, being constantly available for everyone else drained me so much that I couldn't be the best version of myself for them or me. My dad once said to me, "In order to help others, you first must help yourself." And that rings very true. So it's time to redefine selfish. We usually think of it as a bad trait, hoarding resources or ignoring others. But let's distinguish the difference between the negative brand of selfishness and the good selfishness, where you protect your time and energy so you can actually accomplish what's meaningful to you. You might worry that people will call you self-centered or rude, but in most cases, they'll just respect your boundaries. And if they don't, it's probably a sign that they take advantage of your open door policy. Think of it like this. If you keep draining yourself to handle everyone else's task, how will you ever make headway in your own goals? How will you ever get the crucial writing done, practicing the instrument, learning the language, or honing your skills that could actually change your life? By saying no, sometimes you're really saying yes to your deeper priorities. One major step towards regaining focus is identifying a few tasks or blocks of time that are non-negotiable. That means you decide from 7 to 9 a.m. on Saturdays, I'm completely unavailable. Your phone's on D&D, you can't reach me, this is my work time. At first, it may feel a bit odd to turn people down or to let calls go to voicemail, but once you see the progress you're making, getting a chunk of that novel drafted or finally building that website, you realize how empowering it is to actually guard that time. And you'll find that people often adapt more easily than you expect. They'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that's our project time," or "Oh, yeah, I'll catch up with him when he's done." We've all tried to take on 5 things at once. I definitely have. Maybe improving our fitness, starting a YouTube channel, learning a language, organizing a volunteer project, and more and more and more. But often we end up making snail-like progress on all fronts, feeling guilty and overwhelmed because we're trying to do 10 different things at once. Sometimes your best move is to pick one main priority for a specific period. Pour your energy into that. and let the rest orbit around it. You'll be surprised at how much faster you end up achieving something significant. Once you start to see real progress, like finishing a course or reaching your fitness milestone, you can turn your goal to a new energy. That sense of, I can do this, becomes a motivating force that spills over your next pursuit. And it ends up being a chain reaction of confidence. We often forget how quickly life can shift when we focus in on something important. You may stumble onto a brilliant idea that redefines your career or connect with someone who opens a door you never saw coming. But that only happens if you're in a mental space that isn't being devoured by trivial demands. And honestly, I find that hope energizing. Even if you're stuck in a rut, you got to remember you're only one breakthrough away from a new direction. And maintaining focus on what actually matters allows you to create an environment where such breakthroughs can happen. And remember, you're only one breakthrough away or one yes away from changing your life forever. Now, there's been times in my life when my mental health took a hit. Work was non-stop pressure. Personal life felt like it was in shambles. And I'm someone who loves to suffer in silence. Even though I'm the go-to friend for everyone else, when people call when they're in a mess, I don't open my mouth when I'm in one. Because I've always got that reputation of being fine. But I hate the thought of anyone feeling as low as I do, so I offer help without thinking twice. But I realized something. By never saying no, I was letting people's lack of motivation or passion spill over into my life. I would never decline chilling with someone or ignore a call even when I desperately needed time for myself. I'd put my own goals and joys on hold. The very thing that could have lifted me out of my headspace and into a better one. And once again, I remembered my dad's advice. To help others, you have to help yourself first. And sometimes that means setting boundaries and being a little selfish. Only then can I be a real source of support for people that I actually care about. Listen, one reason to chase your goals with unwavering focus is that it sets an example for everyone else around you. Your friends and relatives might see your discipline and think, if they can do it, why can't I? That's how the cycle of motivation can start within your social circle. Maybe you'll be the first in your family to pursue a creative field or start a company. Your dedication could inspire someone else to step out of their comfort zone. Sometimes we assume focusing on ourselves is selfish, but ironically, doing so can have a positive ripple effect. When you succeed at a dream or even just get significantly better at something, people see it as proof that big changes are possible. In a way, your achievement becomes communal. Let's talk a bit more about the word selfish. As we know, there's a very unhealthy brand of it, ignoring and hurting others for personal gain. Then there's a version where you simply protect your time and nurture your potential. If you find a friend struggling, of course, we still offer help within reason. But don't let every single request override your personal mission. We can look to many successful people who've had phases of hyper-focus, locking themselves away to write a book, develop a skill, or launch a business. They might have appeared selfish for that span of time, but in doing so, they eventually produced something that contributed to others, whether it's a service, an art, or an inspirational story. A common pitfall is how effortlessly we let social media and random phone calls intrude our day. Maybe you're halfway into working something crucial or groundbreaking, and then a friend calls to chat nonsense. And there goes 20 minutes. Or you open your phone just to check some, and then an hour later you're still on TikTok. If you do this repeatedly, your day vanishes, and you wonder why you're not making progress. To fight this, set firm but small boundaries. Silence your phone, put your phone on DAD. Use an app that blocks distracting sites. Plan a daily social media window so you're only on it for 1 hour over a day, instead of browsing whenever you feel like it. These small steps help you reclaim a surprising amount of time and mental energy. The point of all of this is to say, we should direct our full attention on what truly matters. Whatever that one shot is for you, let yourself cut out distractions and set boundaries, even if it feels awkward or selfish. Because if you never concentrate your energy on your big dream, you risk bouncing around between partial efforts forever. Yes, people around you might raise an eyebrow. Yes, you might feel uncomfortable telling a friend, sorry, I can't right now. But once you see how your personal mission benefits from that focus, you'll understand it's a short-term inconvenience for a long-term gain. And ironically, you'll be in a better place to help others later because you won't be drained or resentful that you've not accomplished what you want to. So forget the idea that you must handle everything and please everyone 24/7. Instead, let yourself be selfish. Let yourself be selfish enough to find the time and space you need to explore your real calling. The payoff can be huge, not just for you, but for everyone around you. I believe in you guys. You got this. I love you all, and you can do it. Peace.